Hello, this is Professor Jack, and this is Chapter 8. This eighth chapter is Managing Economic Resources. When I gave you, actually, this class, central to this class is the study of the sociological trend, okay? And central to this class is discussing the family unit, as you know, and, going through some of the issues that families nowadays and couples nowadays go through, and to trying to understand why families have been changing, the dynamics and so on. And a little bit of the theories, but something that is so important, it's managing financial resources, economic resources, and this leads to a bigger conversation, a bigger discussion that many times it's very controversial because of the views to this chapter. So here you go, chapter 8, okay, and it deals with the middle class in this country, the American dream. The American dream can, please mark my words, can only be acquired through a strong middle class. This is what differentiates U.S. from any country around the world. Go ahead and just give me a comparison and tell me who has it better than us, right? No middle class? Whoa. Then we're not the difference, right? I mean, we're just one more country, right? And managing economic resources nowadays, let me tell you something. When you're used to, and but before I give you the story, I want to make emphasis on the chapter. This chapter is managing economic resources. It's brief. There's not a lot to cover. A couple of slides only that I have here for you. But then when it comes to the American dream, the middle class is the it's important to maintain and to keep. Through an education, poor people can experience social mobility. If you go back to Sociology 1 and take my Sociology 1 class, you'll be convinced by my theories, right? By the theories that I present. And in this, now one chapter dedicated to economics, then I have to give this to you, that the middle class is in the brinks of becoming extinct. And without a middle class, it's not a U.S. anymore. We're not really talking about the American dream then. The American dream to the poor person, how? If there's no middle class, there's no escalation, there's no step to climb. What constitutes the American dream for Americans is the question. The fact is that budgeting, economic resources, and financial management is a great problem that families present. Money problems is a major cause, right? Money problems are often related to a couple's or a family's inability to develop a specific spending and saving plan. A lot of people, they're dug into a hole. They owe a lot of money. They have credit cards here and there. They do not know how to budget. But definitely I wanted to go ahead and relate to you just a little story. See if you can perceive what I'm talking about here. If all of your life as middle class member, I am a middle class person, okay? If all of your life as middle class member or person, you were used to a given lifestyle, say you would, you know how to budget, of course, but you went to the restaurant, I don't know, 3 times a week. You had that luxury, right, to a good restaurant, and you could go ahead and just spend sometimes without even thinking how much money you have, because you have way over that. You're a good, you budget your money very well, okay? And all of a sudden, you have an economic crisis like the one we're experiencing in this country, and you can't. And it throws you down, thinking how everything is being shortcut, and there's a lot of short funding and cut funding and whatever, right, goes on in industries and in corporations, and you resent the change. It's not that you're starving, but you just resent the change. Have you been there? Well, maybe not. If you're a student, maybe you're working your way up, but, when you get there, and then there's this economic crisis, you're going to know what I'm talking about. This next slide, budgeting. Budgeting is the regular systematic balancing of income and expenses. To budget successfully, individuals need to examine their personal values. Okay, so we have finance cost problems for couples and family because people, number one, consider the topic of money a taboo, have unrealistic expectations about finances, do not create and stick to a budget, overspend and what is the other one? Overspend and rely too heavily on credit, and so those are some of the characteristics or issues to discuss there, right? In your spare time. Of course, we're not going to get head to head here. Top five, let's see, top five financial, what is that? Type five financial management issues. Careful money spending. That's an issue because people are not careful. Okay, so the careful money spending is an issue, in other words, right? In other words, uncareful money spending. Okay, trouble saving money, decision making on purchasing items. It's not that I'm talking about you if you stand under one of those icons there. I mean, maybe you have a problem deciding decision making on purchasing items. You don't know exactly. You cannot choose between one and the other. You want both jackets, right? I mean, or maybe you want both a pair of shoes, and you can't decide between the other one or the other one. I mean, imagine. Okay, I want a Big Mac and I want a Whopper, but I can't decide between the two. I want both. Major unsettled debts, right? Okay, that's a good one there, right? And then you have also a couple conflict to control money. It's a major problem within couples, right? Aside from sexual incompatibility and power differential struggles between couples, you also have couple conflict to control money. It's one of those big ones between those three that are major, right? Takes you to the hot seat, with therapists, right, to discuss these problems, right? So here's facts to consider, and I'm just very thoughtful of this country and altogether of the economic system, and how it affects us and how it changes ways of life, right? That American dream, right? Here are some facts that realistically indicate or show the extent to the problem dealing with money and overall financial management. So you have some issues there that I what is it? Created these and then just gave you some funny font, to make it look nice and fancy. But the idea is the same pretty much, right? Now here I want to go ahead and spend a little bit more of time. We have some statistics. Okay, more than half the families in the U.S. are considered middle income families, defined by the U.S. Bureau of the Census as earning between $15,000 to $75,000 per year. However, disproportionate share of the money in the country goes to affluent families, with 25.1% of families receiving roughly 47.3% of the personal income. About 16% of the U.S. families are lower income families, but they make only 6.2% of all the personal income. It's not bad in comparison to other countries. We're number one. I mean, there is the chance for the poor to come out of oppression and to escalate upward, right? If, capitalize that, if you have a strong middle class. If. That's what makes the difference for United Statians, for Americans. If you have a strong middle class. I'm famous for this. I mean, Sociology 1, I talk about the social class models. Some of you that have taken my Soch 1, hello, how are you? Yeah, some of you know what I'm about when it comes to the economics and when it comes to economic systems altogether, right? So I have some facts there that are by race, right, or ethnicity, right, that I want you to go ahead and study at your spare time. Okay, can't go through them very much here. I'm going to go through each of these briefly. Okay, white families in the U.S. Make more money on average than Hispanic and African American families. The median income for white families is $45,856 and is considerably higher than that of African Americans and Hispanic families. But okay, then we have the 1 second. Sorry. Males make, then Asian families have the highest median income of $55,521 approximately. So Asians are doing a lot better than other people, right, including whites. Males make more money than females. Well, that's known. If you take my Sociology 1, go back into those chapters where I discuss gender and then you'll go ahead and have a more direct a lesson on this, right? Males make more than females. That's ultimately a fact, right? I mean, everybody knows that, right? That females suffer at one or another level from gender inequality, right? Some even would dare talk about stratification, more centralized to discussing the discrimination against women from their male counterparts. But definitely wanted to go ahead and talk about in terms of economics, in terms of race, race and family, right? And so this is a great chapter. Thank you very much for being here. This is Jack. This is it. Bye bye.